Hello YouTube, this is EverythingEpan here, and in today's video we are doing a video tutorial on how to install Windows Me build 2452 in Virtualbox. Continuing on the Windows Me beta series here, since the last video I'd done on this was in 2019 and haven't gotten through too much of it just yet, but this is a part of the beta 2 portion of the Windows Me build, and this was released on January 21st, 2000 to beta testers as the next build of this OS. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and get right into this video. So first, of course, you'll need to make sure you have these few things downloaded. Virtualbox is going to be in the description if you do not have it already. And then the next link is going to be a download. It's going to be a mega link to a MS-DOS 6.22 ISO. This will allow us to change the biostate to when it was released, since it does have a time bomb, and won't work with today's date, of course. So that will be in the description there. And this will actually also let us do the formatting of the hard disk that we'll need to do at the beginning. And then the third link that will be in the description is a link to WinWorld PC to download the Windows Me to build 2452 ISO. On their site here. So not too big of a size there, but that will be in the description, and that should also include the product key that you will need during the install. So again, these three links will be in the description. You'll need to download all those before starting this off. And then once you have all of those, we'll go ahead and open up VirtualBox here. And then we're going to go ahead and create a new virtual machine. And in this, I'm just going to call it Windows Me build 2452. And so it should automatically put the version as Windows Me. If it doesn't, you can go into the drop down and select it, then you hit next. Leave it at the default of 128 megabytes of RAM and hit next. And then this is where we will create a virtual hard drive by hitting create. Pick your specified file type you'd like, hit next. You can choose either dynamically allocated or fixed size. It doesn't really matter there. Go ahead and hit next. And then I usually just leave it at the default of 4 gigs. That way it just doesn't cause any problems for any reason. And then just hit create and it will create your virtual machine. And so once we have it created here, it'll show up at the bottom of your list, or if you don't have any machines, it should be at the very top. But regardless, make sure that that machine is highlighted and go to settings. And then we will go to storage. And then in this IDE controller where the disk is, we'll go to the empty one there. And then we'll hit the disk and choose a disk file. And then you'll want to go to where you have the MS-DOS 6.22 ISO saved, and open that up into there. And then we'll hit OK. And then once we have done that, go ahead and hit start to start the virtual machine here. And it will launch your virtual machine, and it will launch us into MS-DOS 6.22. And then you can see here that the CD drive is defaulted to drive R. It's got the information here. The first command that we're going to do here, that we have that up, is we're going to type in Fdisk. So give us to the formatting option here. Leave it at choice 1, hit enter. Again, hit enter to leave at choice 1 to create a DOS partition. Leave it at Y to make it active, and then it will say the system will restart. Just press any key. It will restart MS-DOS here. And then the next thing we will need to type in is format C:. It's going to give us a warning that all data on the drive will be lost. Just type Y and hit enter. It will format your drive. And then you can put a label if you want, or just hit enter to leave it blank. And then the next command we'll need to type in is the command to change the biostates. Since, of course, we can't go into the actual BIOS on VirtualBox, this is one of the needs of this ISO. So we'll type date. It's going to display the current date. And then on this, you'll need to type in 01-21-2000 and hit enter, and it will set the date. And you can confirm that by typing in date, and it has a current date as Friday, January 21st, 2000. If you hit enter one more time, it'll just keep that same date if you don't enter anything in. And then now we've got the biostate set. We've got the drive formatted there. So what we'll need to do is we'll need to right click on the disk and hit choose a disk file. And you'll want to go to where you saved your Windows Me 2452 ISO. So I'll go down into the drives here. That is now inserted. So again, the default drive letter should be R, but just keep an eye on the beginning when it first boots up where it says drive letter. For the CD, should be R, but it might be differing on that. So I want to hit the R:, hit enter. It'll direct us into the DVD. And then if you type in dir, there should be one folder called WinMe, so that's perfect. This is the one we're going to copy. So we're going to go ahead and hit C:, and then we're going to type mkdir, and then I'm just call it WinMe. This is probably the easiest way to do it. And then hit enter, and it's going to create a directory on your C drive called WinMe. So we can go to it by typing in cd WinMe. It will go into that drive, and then the command we're going to want to type in now, we're going to copy the files over. Type copy R://WinMe. And then it's going to copy the files over onto your C drive. So it should have 49 files copied. We can now go ahead and remove the ISO. Right click and just hit remove disk. And then we'll type setup and hit enter. It will get us into the setup wizard here. And here we are at the welcome screen. So on this, we'll just hit next. And then we're going to go ahead and accept the license agreement here and hit next. And this is where you're going to want to enter in the product key. Again, this should come with the file description that you'll download from WinWorld PC. It's going to come in a 7-zip type of file there. You can open it with WinRAR or 7-zip, whichever you prefer there. So make sure you have either one of those downloaded. And then here's where the product key will be. It'll be a text file in there. So I'm going to enter this in real quick and continue on to the next step. So on the next step here, it's going to ask where to direct it to or where to install it. Just leave it at C Windows, the recommended one. Next, and check for install components and available disk space. And then normally you could just hit typical. That should work as normal here. Sometimes I like to just hit custom, and then it'll have you type in a name and company, so you can enter that information as you wish. You do need to enter a name. And then I usually just like to go down to where the multimedia category is and just make sure everything is highlighted for that. It should download 11 megs of that just so I make sure it has all the sounds and everything, even though I think it should do it when you do typical. That's going to ask you to enter in a computer name. I'm just going to call it me2452. For work group, I think you can leave it at that, but usually just in case I just type in all caps work group. And then I remove the computer description and we'll hit next. It's going to ask for your keyboard layout, your region setting. Set that as you need, hit next. And that's going to ask for your country and your time zone. So go ahead and select those as you need as well, hit next. And then it's going to try and create a startup disk. Just hit cancel on this and hit OK. And it's going to begin to copy files here. So we'll hit finish and it will start copying the files here. So this should be a relatively quick process. As you can see, it's going through fairly quickly. Again, it's just going to depend on your computer hardware that you have as to how fast these things will go. But this would be, quote unquote, one of the longer portions of the setup is the copying files. So I'm going to let this copy over, and then I will come back to you guys here once it is finished copying the files and ready for the restart. Okay, so it is ready for the restart here. It's going to ask you to remove any floppy disks from the drive, but of course we don't have any, so we can just hit OK. It's going to give us a little countdown to restart. So just hit restart now, and it will restart your virtual machine. And you can see quickly there, it'll have the bootloader for Windows Me during the beta. And now it's going to detect some hardware and continue to go through the setup here. So this will take a little bit to get through as it tries to detect everything. And then it will get on to the next portion of the setup here. So I'll let this run through real quick here, and we'll come to you guys once the next part of the step comes up. All right, so this part will finish up here, and then it's going to come up with that setting up hardware window, and we'll have it reboot once more. So we'll just hit restart now, and it will reboot the virtual machine. You'll see that Windows codename Millennium boot screen, and we'll come back up for some more hardware setup and go to the next step. And we'll have us go through the following items there for control panel programs and such other items there. So it will run through those. It'll come down to the last portion here. We'll update the system settings. So this part can take some time. So we'll let this run through, and then it will have us come to the next restart point. Now, on this step, when I have installed it before, when the overall progress gets to full, this part just ends up kind of just keep loading and it doesn't reboot or finish. So if that does happen, we can do a reset and restart the machine, and that will work for that. So yeah, on that, that shouldn't be any kind of problem there if it gets stuck, but we'll see if it does it here. If it does, I'll show you what to do. Otherwise, it should restart by itself. So again, just let this run through. This will take some time, and I will come back to you guys once it's either stuck at the end there or it comes up with the restart. Okay, so it did come up with the restart here. So just hit restart now. It will restart your machine, and we'll boot up once more. And we'll come up to should come up to the login screen there. So again, if it does get stuck on that overall progress at the end, you can just go up to machine and hit reset, and it will refresh and come up to this screen when that happens. So on this, we can go ahead and hit OK to log in. It'll update system settings and push us through to the desktop. So just let it load that through. And you will hear the startup sound come through. Now, of course, these do still use the Windows 98 sound, since this is the OS that came after it in the 9X series. So it will play the Windows 98 startup sound there for you. And there we go. We have successfully installed Windows Me Build 2452. So that's really all there is to it. It's not too difficult of a process there. So that is really all you need to do, and it will install it on its own there. Also, if you do want to enable the log off sound or the shutdown sound, you'll need to go into control panel and go to sounds and multimedia, and then it'll bring you up to this menu. You want to go to exit windows, and there will be a sound in here called log off, and it will play the sound here. So you can apply that and hit OK. So just a little tip there if you do want to use this a little bit, and it will have those in there. So that is all there is for this tutorial. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, or if this did help you out, certainly leave a like down below. And if you have any future video ideas or anything there, leave a comment down below. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, certainly can do so by hitting that down below here and hitting the bell to be notified when I upload for future videos, so you can keep up on content with being subscribed and everything. So thank you guys so much for watching, and this is the video tutorial on how to install Windows Me Build 2452 in Virtualbox. So hope this all helped. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.